Good morning. I am Carlos Garcia. I'm Savi Baveja, the CEO and co-founder of our cool little company called Truly. Over the next few minutes, we hope, my colleague Anish and I hope to convince you guys of two things. First, that in your world, there is an obvious and large yet unsolved problem. The problem may be obvious, but its magnitude is growing at an unsustainable rate. And secondly, that we at Truly, over the last 18 months, have developed some unprecedented capabilities to help you make a dent in these problems. So what are these problems that we speak of? First, risk. Driven by the increasing globalization, digitization, and evolving customer experiences in your industry, the magnitude of risk is growing at a dramatic rate. Identity risk, fraud risk, credit risk, money laundering risk, crime risk, you name it. The underlying risks are growing as the inherent nature of financial services evolves. So think of these risks as the head of the octopus. I'm going to use an octopus analogy today. So the head of the octopus are these risks. Okay, if that's the head, the tentacles that are layering onto this head are the tentacles of regulation. The tentacles of regulation across international, national, state regulators that attempt to keep up with these risks, yet create for you and your organizations a moving target. Just when you think you've caught up with regulation, it changes. Regulation, risk and regulation. Risk and regulation create for you and your organizations an unsustainable demand on resources, driven by both keeping up with risk and regulation, but then the enforcement of these regulations. And lastly, solutions that exist today are not working. The old manual processes are creating drudgery for your teams, for your organizations. Old models, old tools, which for every person or every entity that is actually risky, call 3 to 5 times as many risky, don't work. So risk, regulation, resources, and then the solutions we have, these are creating a sort of vicious cycle. The octopus is getting larger. The net has holes in it. The boat is small. Unsustainable. So what capabilities have we developed to help address this? So we are very proud to have developed an innovative capability to take a minimal amount of input information about an entity being an individual or a business, and in real time, in about 30 seconds, mine 4 public and permissible digital sources. These sources are the public web, the dark web, permissible social media, and digital public records. In real time, we go mine these and turn the enormous amount of data that is available across these data sets into 3 powerful signals. The first signal is verification. Is the input identity that was sent to us, in fact, authentic? Is it coherent? What is this input identity connected to? Verification. Second is screening. So using our sources, can we find evidence of prior risky, fraudulent, criminal behavior? And third is prediction. So can we use those same signals for an entity that doesn't show up as having a negative footprint, and can we predict whether in the future they will in fact have, are likely to engage in negative behavior? Verify, screen, predict. Now we have been using this capability for over a year in the sharing economy. That's the first place we attacked. to great success. And I will tell you consistently across use cases using Verify, Screen, Predict, we find 1 to 2% of any population shows up as highly risky, 10% shows up as moderately risky, and about 15 to 25% shows up on the opposite extreme as extremely positive, the kind of customer where you don't want to put them through too much pain. You want to, in fact, accelerate their onboarding, accelerate their experience. The other interesting thing we found out, fortunately, is that given the nature of the footprints we're using, Verify, Screen, Predict does not correlate with ethnicity, with gender, with age, or any other protected categories. It turns out that antisocial people come in lots of colors and ages and genders. So the signals we're picking up, we are finding are less biased than traditional signals as well. Now, over the past 6 months, we have been working with some major and forward-thinking financial services organizations on pilots to extend these capabilities into financial services. And we are very pleased to share with you today what these solutions are and how we have applied them to financial services. And my colleague will tell you more about these in a minute. But Verify has turned into a Verify Plus solution. What is the plus in Verify Plus? Well, we can verify not only the input identity of the entity you gave us, we can in fact verify financial attributes such as income, employment, education, assets, and we'll show you some of the results that we've achieved. In Screen, we are not only able to hit that identity up against watch lists, we are able to construct an identity graph using the sources we have and detect risk anywhere in the graph, which gets you at least partway towards beneficial ownership regulations. And third, our predictive signals are proving to have powerful value for traditionally underserved, under-captured populations, particularly thin file entities, millennials, and small and medium businesses. So these are the powerful capabilities we've built. Now, my colleague Anish will share some results of these and show you some specific data. But we are around for the next 3 days. We do not have a booth, but please look for the 2 best-looking guys that are here, and you'll find us. Okay?
Thank you. So the first pilot that we did with financial services was verification of input, and specifically identity input, where you were verifying employment and income. And amazingly, with this pilot, what we observed was above 80% of the user base, we were able to automatically verify completely within 30 seconds. So no phone calls, no waiting for 2 to 3 days. The web and the other data sources tell you whether the input is correct or not. And a sample of the input is on the left here, where you would give name, email maybe, position, employer, and your stated income. And we are able to gather data from various sources such as H-1B data info, websites, various salary aggregator sites, and so on, and completely automatically tell you what the risk level is. And in this case, for instance, we would say employment is correct. Their stated income of $280,000 seems completely off the board because, one, we could verify it through an authentic H-1B data source, and second, we were able to compute the 90th percentile income range, and this is clearly an outlier there. The second pilot that we've done with other financial services institutions is around KYC and AML. Here, the input is a small business and potentially an owner of that business. And we're able to try to identify the risk associated with this. The first thing we do is build an entity relationship graph of this business as well as connected entities. For example, 2 businesses that seem to share an address, business and its owner having a shared phone number and so on. So we first build such a graph, and then we are able to do traditional types of verification as well as such as OFAC list checks and so on, but also do more sophisticated verifications such as reviews on websites of a business. Are they fake or not? And detecting fake or not is based on one who authored it, but also various types of natural language processing technology that tries to identify whether it's fake or not. So these results were really impressive. And the third use case that we again did with a couple of financial services institutions is around creditworthiness. Here, the input is, again, similar sort of information about the name, individual, and so on. And what we are trying to do is identify whether you can give this person a loan, say, of $200,000. So your traditional mechanisms of FICO scores would give you some kind of ranking. On the right, you'll see a graph that gave us amazing results. So using Truly's signals only, we were able to get a significant lift in the returns given, say, some portfolio size, and even up to double the returns that FICO scores would give you. And in heavily constrained environments, actually, the benefit goes up even more. And the orange line that you see is combining Truly with FICO, which is marginally above Truly's model. And both of these are significantly above FICO model. So these are three use cases that we worked on. We are having many conversations with other companies. We invite you to come and talk to us. We are always looking for problems in this space and open to working with new companies as well. You can reach us at true.ly, Savi at true.ly, Anish at true.ly, and we are here for the next 3 days. Thank you.